Hello, social workers, mental health professionals, and change agents. Welcome to another episode, season four finale of the Social Work Brands podcast. I'm your host, Bass Moreno. Saludos a todos. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. Saludos a todos. Gracias a todos por su apoyo sobre el podcast. El último capítulo de season. Season four of the podcast. Um, Today I'm going to talk about, I know I've talked about it in recent podcast episodes, but uh, my official retirement from school social work in the state of Delaware. This is just not for me. So before I get into that, you can follow the podcast on social media on Instagram at the Social Work Brands Podcast. That's all one word. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at Social Work Rants. Follow the podcast on Facebook, aka Meta, at the Social Work Rants Podcast. Hit the like button. Obviously, hit the red subscribe button on YouTube. Follow along on the podcast. And my book, Triumph Through Pain: How to Maximize Your Full Potential During Hard Times, it is out. You can get it on Amazon. We're going to put the link in the show notes. You can get it on any bookstore, Barnes and Noble, your local bookstore, wherever you get your books from it. It's in paperback form and coming August 1st. It'll be on Kindle, so if you rather read it on a Kindle, you can get it on Kindle as well. August 1st, it will be on Kindle. That's literally as of this episode next week, right around the corner. Um, so that the book is finally out. I've been talking about it. It seemed like forever. The book is out. Grab your copy of the book. For those who purchased the book, thank you so much. It's about, I wrote it during 2020, during the shutdown. My mom was in the hospital and later passed away. I was losing clients from COVID, um, working with the older adults, the elderly, and having clients passing away from COVID. And kind of, gyms were closed and everything was on shut down. So poetry became my outlet to deal with my anxiety, deal with stress, and still having the self awareness, the resiliency to still wanting to achieve my goals, my aspirations of being a first time homeowner, which that was the goal of 2020, was to achieve that and still leaving a financial legacy for my family and learning how to go about doing that. So the book is out. If I can help anybody, even if it's one person regarding the book, then I did my due justice with the book. So let me get on with this topic. So for the second year in a row, I my contract was not renewed. I was working a different contract, basically a subcontract through a school district, and actually I wanted to cut them off, but they beat me to the punch because as you guys may not know, I got married June 26th, so basically financed, paid for the wedding, myself between myself and my now wife paid for the wedding, and so out of our own pockets. So now I wanted to basically have my cake, eat it too, like just stay there, get some money, hold me down for the summer while I look for work. And basically, the last day of school came on and had a meeting, in-person meeting. They're like, supposedly like the district didn't want me back, so like they gave me a reason. Pretty much they just wanted to work me, and I wasn't having it. And trying to refer cases to me that are not really appropriate for me to work, and yeah, still wanted me to work with them. So no, like I prioritized my mental health over doing the work that was asked of me. Um, So the cases that I did have, I did the best of my ability. I was reached my max. Uh, it's been this past school year was definitely a struggle, especially September through December was a real struggle. Definitely had thoughts of quitting back then, but I stuck it out. Did sign a contract. I didn't want no issues regarding trying to break out of my contract, so I did it, and it was definitely an experience. I don't know if it's a combination of me, how I am as a person, or how Delaware and their school systems do things, but the school system is not for me. I still have my certification in school social work to 2025, so I'll do whatever I got to do to maintain that. And for whatever reason, if I ever needed to go back to school social work, then so be it to provide for my family. But no, I'm done. So shout out to all the school social workers that love their job and set their boundaries for themselves and with administrators and with school districts and do what they got to do and they love it. But it's just is not for me. I know that, and that's okay. To all new social workers, you will have jobs and be like it's not for you, and it's okay to bounce around. Don't let how the old school way of doing things, like you stay a job even if you can't stand it, you hate it, and you gotta stay there because it look bad if you leave after 3 or 4 months or a couple of weeks or whatever. If you don't like the job and you're able to find another job, then so be it. Then leave the job. It's okay to leave a job. So I've had this, I did find a new job is with a population that I wanted to work with if I ever got the chance to. An opportunity came, and at first it was like a little too good to be true. Like I actually found a job, money was pretty good, and with the population I want to serve, I'm like, I went through the process, and got a job and be starting in August. So, in God's will. So, definitely excited for that. Excited for the opportunity. I thank God, every day for blessing me with these opportunities. Gotten me this far, and there's a lot more to learn. And with this state, I'm still adjusting to living in Delaware. How people who've been here, like the natives of Delaware, they're pretty much stuck in their ways, and transplants like myself coming from New York and see what really like the real world is in terms of diversity, in terms of uh, a fast-paced life, or just having like the experience, life experience, work experience, and coming in as like kind of adjust to how things are down here has definitely been an adjustment, and haven't really gotten my fair shake into really giving me an opportunity to really learn uh, with time how to do things correctly, do things how it's been asked of me, and now I know the schools. There's two populations that are not for me. Is residential, working in a residence, and school social work. So I'm knocking them down one by one, surely but surely. I've been in the field, 20 years. I've done for foster care. I've done case management for persistent mentally ill adults, HIV and AIDS population, scattered site housing. Worked at a residence. The last year and a half here in Delaware. Working at school social work. I've done medical social work. So um, definitely residents and school social work are not are not it for for me. So and that's okay. And And definitely there'll be stuff out there for you guys who's listening and be like, oh, this job's not for me. This population's not for me. And that's going to come with time. They might talk about it a little bit in social work school about working with different populations, but it's okay to change the job, work with different populations. Definitely work it with as many populations as you can work with. There's so much stuff in social work that we can do. There's if you go on Instagram, there's definitely been like a big push of stuff that you could do with just your MSW. There's definitely a certain segment of the social work population that's like, oh, you got to get your license. Um, and even forget the LM, people just focus on the LC, which is, I think, extremely unfortunate that the LM is not looked at strong enough. You are paying for the exam, and it's basically the same exam, whether it be the LM, LC, and we got to get the hours and all this stuff. So it's just a lot in the field that needs to be improved, and hopefully, slowly but surely, these things get rectified, and you know, it's just a lot in the field. So I wanted to come in real quick. This is a short episode. Season finale. Already got season 5. I'm not missing a week just because it's season 5 now. Definitely post on a Friday. We will have your episodes. I'm excited for myself. Please follow my business page, Bass City Entertainment LLC, on Instagram, uh, TikTok, and Facebook for a lot of good stuff coming up. I'll be in Atlanta for an event called InvestFest. And, this podcast called Earn Your Leisure. I'm sure some of you may have heard of them. That they're doing a whole financial conference in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'll be there as a vendor. Selling my book. I have some T-shirts and hats, baseball caps. I'll be selling and just learning financial stuff, and then whatever I learn, I'll put it on the podcast and touch on stuff that stuff that they don't teach us in grad school for us social workers. And they teach us about I mentioned this several times on the podcast. They teach you how to do a private practice, but they don't teach you the business fundamentals of running a business, and it is a business. And I've definitely been spending my summer basically as a full-time entrepreneur with my business, getting my book out, um, and paying for stuff. You know, has a vendor, and with my business credit, and buying stuff so that I could sell it, and it's a lot, so many little details. I'm not the biggest detail person, so it's like it's even harder for me at sometimes. And it's like entrepreneurship is no joke for those social workers, entrepreneur full time. Like, I gotta give it to you because this summer been doing a lot, planning with the book, doing a Zumba class, and just posting and let people know about stuff. And it's just a lot of little details that go into it. So, and all this stuff they do not uh, really go into it in social work school. At least not when I went when I graduated in 2010. I hope it's a little better now. From what I hear, is not that much better, but that's something social work schools really need to talk about and have business fundamentals. If you want us to get into private practice and get our LCs, and to do clinical work, and be therapists, and have private practices, we have to learn about the business fundamentals. How to get business credit. What's the best way to go about getting business credit? What's the best way? Should we file as an LLC? Get an LLC with an S corp, business taxes, and all this stuff, man. And if we would Social workers, we be killing it if especially when soon the pandemic hit, like we wouldn't have to worry. We would have the overload of clients, you know, already, and just have like constant wait lists for services, and just we would have those business instincts and fundamentals already at hand, to really help out within the profession and really make money, and not have this a stereotype of there's no money in social work. So um, definitely my rant. I'm gonna keep talking about that. Definitely advocate for us to future social workers to learn business fundamentals, and just for us social workers who have side hustles, who are looking to one day possibly be, the side hustle be the full time job, and leave the full time job. You know, time is precious. We have families and we got to take care of, and things of that nature, and being stuck somewhere in the 9 to 5, and with traffic, or riding trains and subway buses, and to get back home. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So that's it for this week. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, tapping in. As always, rocking with me. I appreciate all the love, all the support. Cop the book. Definitely put my heart and soul. It's definitely a good lesson to teach kids that is is okay to be yourself, be your authentic self. You can make some money actually being your authentic self. So I definitely being my authentic self, put my words on paper, and shout out to my coach Ash Cash. He was on season 1 on the podcast when we got those stimulus checks here in America. So um, shout out everybody again for listening wherever you're listening, and I appreciate watching for my YouTubers that watching. Greetings, and take care. Stay safe. We still in a pandemic. There's monkeypox, and there's some other stuff going on in Africa too. So just stay safe. Definitely we still got to wash our hands, and you know, I'm still rocking my mask. So um, again, be safe out there, and talk to you soon. Any social workers that are going to Invest Fest, booth number 434. Show Big Bass some love, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay, peace, y'all.